Yeah, and that is the end of the game.
And breathe. What a cracking game of football that was, Darren.
It really was.
Heck.
It really was quite good. Lived up to the billing.
We gave it a lot of billing, to be fair, didn't we? Understandably so.
Well, it started right from the very first minute, where a great piece of combination play across into Shakpoke, and I still don't understand how he missed it. I mean, at least hit the target. Some great save by Alexis Andre from Gallagher in the towards the end of the first half. It was really sort of like the first half of the first half was literally end-to-end stuff, and it can't continue like this. It did calm down. A couple of great saves from Alexis Andre. It went in 0-0, and then after a period of pressure, Dorking got their goal. A period of pressure from Dorking, might I add. A great little piece of combination play from Mouet, and he put the ball in, and Alfie Rutherford did what Alfie Rutherford does.
And has done so often already this season, hasn't he? And yeah, continuing that big scoring run that he's had for Dorking this season, and very much trying to chase down a pyre in the top scorer race this season in National League South. And it's no more than what Dorking deserved, because I think they're probably the better side in the first 20 of the second half, because there was obviously that massive chance about 90 seconds in. Both halves 90 seconds in, wasn't it? Shakpoke in the first half, Rutherford at the start of the second half on a Wecker's slip.
Yes, and as I say,
before Rutherford then again, he had like 4 or 5 chances before he got his goal tonight.
He bought, I might have said Gallagher by mistake, but he certainly bought 2 great saves out of Alexis Andre Jr. And then a little bit of Stones pressure as Dorking was trying to consolidate the 1 goal, and cross comes over, Milsom's with Leahy, and it hits Milsom on the chest, and that's the only way that Fulks was being beaten tonight. Stones had the momentum but didn't actually manage to quite squeeze home. So 1-1 is a fair result. It's a good tense game of football, onwards and upwards. Now, not quite the 3 points I perhaps would have wanted from the start, but certainly something that should give us confidence. And we're playing one of our main playoff rivals, shall we say, and we've got a point out of it. So what we've got to do is continue along this vein.
I mean, certainly 10 minutes ago, when the Stones were still 1-0 down as we were advancing towards the 90-minute mark, you were wondering what sort of reaction there would be online and in general in the ether, in the space that is Maidstone, and how people would react. But that one moment, that 1 goal, however fortuitous it was, however much Leahy was doing correctly, legally, illegally, there's one for you for Kent Online, Craig, or others. You can use that if you want. You know him as Venmo. Do we have Venmo? I don't know.
No, we don't.
You know what I mean.
Your wife's American,
exactly,
isn't she? Yeah.
That tells, doesn't it? Yes.
I won't hold it against her.
No, I haven't done for most of my life. But anyway, that's another story for another hot take. And it would have been a completely different reaction, completely different mood, post-match interview, us, George, everything. It would be a completely different kettle of fish, and it would be not pretty, potentially, because when you're thinking Weston-super-Mare Hill, I do believe won 2-0 in the end. As it stood, they were only 1 point behind the Stones with 8 to play, and obviously we play each other in about 2.5-3 weeks' time on the 5th down at Weston, them having beaten us here earlier in the season from memory. So that would have been, it's going to be a massive match in terms of making sure Maidstone keep themselves and stay in those playoff spots. If they are aiming for higher up, a win tonight would have been crucial for a playoff spot, full stop. I think not losing tonight was absolutely spot on, but it was the manner of turning it around, because it was both sides matching each other for the most part. That one bit of class from Hewitt and Rutherford getting them ahead, and then I'd probably say, I think from memory from our commentary, Darren, Dorking probably did have the bulk of the play after they went ahead, and if anything,
and before as well.
Yeah, either side of the goal, exactly. And I think they probably regret not being further ahead. It's something the Stones have had quite a few occasions this season where they've gotten ahead and they've just not been able to punish sides often enough and have enough goals.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, in another universe, the play that we saw today could have resulted in 2-0 to the Stones. It was
Yeah.
it was that close. I mean, yeah, if it had ended 1-0 to Dorking, it wouldn't have been an unfair result.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Certainly, but Maidstone certainly did enough to warrant their draw. Yeah, all right, it's come through an own goal, but you know, you have to take everything. That's part and parcel. That's what we've not been doing. Is actually taking everything that we can get. We've done it tonight.
We have. Running through the results, Enfield did finish 1-0 against Hampton and Richmond, 1-1 here, of course. Weston did win 2-0 at Weymouth. Truro 3-0 at Chippenham, so Chippenham lower than a snake's belly, potentially coming here on Saturday. More on that in a moment. Bath 2, Slough 0, Borehamwood 2-0 at Farnborough. So it does seemingly seem to be 7 from the top 8. It keeps ebbing and flowing that Tunbridge might find themselves in there. And, you know, seeing how that ends up. Torquay Salisbury was 2-2 in the finish. They've also dropped a couple of points in the playoff race. And yet Tunbridge did get that win against Chesham. So it does mean that the Stones find themselves, as we said at the top of the programme, Darren, we're always going to be finishing tonight in 7th spot. So that top 8, we'll quickly go through it. We'll go from top to bottom. Worthing on 74 with a game in hand over everybody. Truro only a point behind them now. Borehamwood and Dorking both on 71 points. Boreham just slightly ahead of Dorking on goal difference. That's going to be by literally a couple of goals from the looks of things. A couple of points further back in 5th, Eastbourne 69, Torquay 68, Stones 64. So the Stones still only 4 points off of Torquay, but I think the more crucial and worrying fact is the 2-point gap that Weston-super-Mare have. They've halved that deficit against the Stones. Tunbridge, Farnborough, Hemel all on 53, Chelmsford 52. They are some hugely outside odds. I think with 8 games to play, and they've got 11-point gap to get above Maidstone, even to get level with Maidstone. Hemel do have a game in hand potentially that might do something, but I think most people's maths is going to be 7 from 8.
Yeah,
is going to be the answer there. And down the bottom, Enfield have opened up a 5-point gap along with Salisbury from St Albans and Welling. Weymouth and Aveley pretty much gone. So probably about 2 positions decided down the bottom, Darren, and then 7 from 8 and everything else. Quite a lot going on in South as usual, isn't there? It's never dull. Never dull.
well, that's the good thing about it. I mean, you know, you can't help but looking upwards, which we have to, and you look at that league and you think, well, you know, you could pretty much call which third every team's going to finish of the league, which every team's going to finish in. It's a lot more difficult in the south. A lot more difficult.
It is. Borehamwood and Weston-super-Mare probably the 2 bigger matches in terms of league positions to come in these last 8 games. Plenty of sides in varying positions. Chippenham at the weekend, and we've got Welling. Is going to be quite an interesting fixture come near the end of the season on the Good Friday. That's the 3rd game second game from the end of the season. Yeah, 3rd. 44 for 46. That one's going to be
Tunbridge here on the Monday, which is
exactly. Well, that's going to be Jay Saunders' penultimate game in charge, potentially, depending on when the Kent Cup final is, if they get to that, because they've obviously got a senior semi-final to have as well. So yeah, very interesting times and lots of change going on everywhere, as seems to be the way with a lot of things. But
and as I said last week, you'll hear it all. Well, obviously not the other Tunbridge stuff, but the rest of
the one Tunbridge bit. To be fair,
the Maidstone
we'll
stuff
that.
You will hear on all of it on Stones Live.
Definitely, that is what we are trying to go for. Well, I would have given an 18th Eurovision song title if we'd have got an 18th league win of the season, but that would have been from the bad old days. But I'm never giving up on getting more puns in, frankly. So all that remains to be said, because I assume you've given your last shot, and that's everything out from you. So I will quickly wrap up and say I'll be on the mic with Fred Atkins for the Chippenham home return game on Saturday. We'll have a preview video and podcast for you before that, as always. Quick thank you to you, Darren, for dropping in at the last minute. We will see you soon, Nigel. Love from all of us here. Stay strong. And from the 2 of us, thanks for your company, all of you out there again tonight. And as always,
Come on, you Stones.